So I'm going to start doing videos on the Bible, and going to do a little different. Going to do it a little bit differently. I've decided to focus on some of the negative things in the Bible that people typically overlook, and they explain away and stuff. And what I've been noticing over the years is that people tend to just, they don't read the Bible. In fact, very few people that I've ever met that are professed to be Christians have even read the Bible. They might read a few books, they might read the New Testament here and there. They just don't really read it. And so I'm going to pick different subjects and keep it kind of short. Try and keep it short. We'll see how long this one goes. But one of the things I'm going to point out, the general thing, is the double standard between what applied to Israel and what applied to the rest of the people around them. And so the subject for now is prostitution. And I'm going to point some things out. And I got a couple little stories here I'm going to cover. And one of them is with Judah and Tamar. And I'm just going to kind of read this here. And it says, "And it came to pass at the time that Judah went down from his brethren, turned in unto a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua." And I might be getting these names wrong, but and it says, "And he took her and went in unto her, and she conceived and bare a son, and called his name She conceived again and bare a son, and called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Chezib, and when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. He dead. So now Judah said unto Onan, "Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up a seed to thy brother." Just at a little side note here, that in the law it says that when your brother dies and he's married and they don't have any children, it's your duty, married or not, to take your brother's wife, have sex with her, and then whatever child was born was basically accounted for his lineage. So that's kind of what's happening here. And Judah said to Onan, "Go on to thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother." And Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass, when he went on to his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground. In other words, he pulled out, and lest he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Then said Judah to Tamar his daughter-in-law, "Remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown." For he said, "Lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did." And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. So now she's sitting here getting old, waiting for this other kid to grow up. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted. And he went up onto his sheep shears at Timnath, and he and his friend Hira the Adullamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, "Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep." And so she put her widow's garment off from her, and she covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way of Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. So this is all like yada yada yada. Okay, what are you getting at? Well, now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. So she dresses up like a hooker, and she goes and puts herself in a place where Judah sees her. And it says when Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot because she had covered her face. There's a couple things here. First off, why would she think that this righteous man would be interested in having sex with her being a hooker? That's the first question you got to ask. Why would she think that this would be the case? And then secondly, why would Judah go be with a hooker? They don't ever tell you this stuff. They kind of like, they skip over it. They don't focus on that part of the story. But we'll keep going. And he says, he turned unto her by the way and said, Go, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee, for he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. What does that have to do with anything? And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Well, thou give me a pledge till I'll send it. And so he says, Well, what do you want? And she says, Your signet, your bracelets, and your staff. So he gives it to her, goes in, he has sex with her, and she gets pregnant. And she arose, went away, laid her veil from her, and put on her garments of widowhood again. So, I don't know of any hookers today that would take a goat for payment, but I don't know, maybe a Muslim or something. So Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, receives the pledge. Basically, he's going to go make good on his promise. And he asks the men of the place, he's like, Hey, where's the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, There ain't no hooker here. There's no harlot here. So went back to Judah, says, Hey, you can't find her. And they said there isn't even any harlot in that place. So Judah said, Well, I guess she's got to get it. Come get it herself or something. And so 3 months later, and here's another thing I want to point out, we're getting to it. 3 months later, it's told Judah saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, has played the harlot, and she's pregnant. So Judah's response is, Bring her forth and let her be burnt. Now think about that. If it was such a nasty, horrible thing to be a hooker, how much more to be with a hooker? It's stupid. But I'm making a point here, and my point, I'm going to get to it. So, when she's brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, I am with child. And, you know, it's basically, she brings the staff and the signet and the bracelets. She brings those out, and Judah says, Yeah, they're mine. And she hath been, now he says this, she has been more righteous than I, because she played the hooker and he was the hooker hirer? No, because I gave her not Shelah, my son. That was the reason she was more righteous than him. That's stupid. And I just want to point a few things out here. There's a double standard in the Bible, and I'm going to get to this in other videos. There's a double standard when it comes to Israel and the rest of the world. And here's a perfect example of that, is the first thing he wanted to do with a family member is kill her. In fact, burn her. Not stone her, burn her. He wanted to kill her for playing the harlot, but he didn't have any problems going and having sex with what he thought was a foreigner. It's okay to use them, no big deal. So that was Judah, and then you know, Samson, he was a judge of Israel, and Same thing here in Judges 16:1. It says, then Samson went to Gaza. He saw there a harlot, went in on her. No big deal. But God forbid that, if it would have been an Israelite, oh my gosh. So, the normal prescription for a daughter playing the harlot, and I didn't get this verse, but I got the other one, but the normal judgment is to stone a daughter if somebody marries her and they find out she's not a virgin. They're supposed to take her out and stone her. That was the normal prescription. But in Leviticus 21:9 it says, and the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father. She shall be burnt with fire. So there is a difference. If you are a Levite, well, a priest, if you're a priest and your daughter does that, she's supposed to be burnt. If she's not a priest's daughter, it was just stoning. So it was more, it's burning is not a cool way to die. And then I want to bring up Rahab, and we're going to read a little bit on Rahab. Remember Rahab, the harlot? So I want to lay a little background here of why they went into Jericho and destroyed Jericho. And it's in Exodus 23, and it says, for my angel shall go before thee, and bring thee unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. In other words, he's going to kill them. And thou shalt, now here's why, thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images. So the excuse here for committing genocide is to kill every man, woman, child, kill everybody, kill everything, is because they're wicked, right? Okay. But we've already found a double standard where for the children of Israel, being a hooker, it's not a good thing. But to have sex with a hooker that's not an Israelite, that appears to be okay. But now keep in mind that the excuse for destroying these people and just eliminating them is because they're doing wicked things, like being hookers. And so it says, you shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread, thy water. He'll take away sickness from thee in the midst. There shall nothing will cast their young, nothing will be barren in the land. Number your days will be fulfilled. Send fear before thee, destroy all the people who you shall, to whom thou shalt come, and make all your enemies turn their backs unto thee. Send the hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, the Hittite from before thee. And I will not drive them out before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. But little by little he'll drive them out until they'll be increased and inherit the land. Now, this here, and it says, I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and the desert unto the river. They never got that land, ever. Never in history. They never achieved it, to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong. And what God promised Israel as an inheritance, the land, they never, ever inhabited it completely. And thou shalt not make a covenant with them, nor with their gods. And they shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against thee. For if thou serve their gods, I will surely be a snare unto thee. So these are wicked people. These people are doing things they shouldn't be doing. And like being a hooker. And Joshua the son of Nun set out of Shittim. That's kind of a shitty city, Shittim. They sent 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came in unto the harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. Now come on. These are supposed to be righteous people. And the first place they go when they go to a strange city is the hooker's house. They went to a freaking brothel. So that's the first place they go. I don't know what else to say. First place they go is to the hooker's house. How'd they know? Probably had to ask around. Hey, where's the hooker? But again, that's okay, because it ain't a child of Israel. Okay, and it says, the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot, and they make sure they identify her as a harlot, shall live. She and all that are with her with her in the house, because she hid the messengers. So they're there destroying the place because these are wicked, nasty people. She's a hooker. And the first place they went is to the hooker's house. And now they're going to save her because she was a good hooker. And then we get into like Hebrews, and it says, by faith, the hooker, Rahab, perished not with them that believed not, because she received the spies with peace. Man, that sounds really righteous. That was a really good hooker. God, that was nice of the hooker to take these men in. They went to her, and she took these men in. Duh. First place they went, she took the guys in. What a good hooker. And she was a faithful hooker. And God saved the hooker from being destroyed, because they were there in the first place to destroy all the mean, nasty people for being mean, nasty, wicked people. But they saved the hooker. And you get into James, and it's like, says, likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works. Think about that. What does a hooker do? She has sex with strangers and gets paid for it. That was the works that she did. That's what she did for a living. But she was saved by works because she received the messengers and then sent them out another way. You don't want your clients killed. This is just one of many videos I'm going to do. And you can comment, you can say what you want, but I'm just reading the book for what it is. If it wasn't the Bible, you would not be going, oh my God, I can't believe you're looking at it and reading it like that. I'm reading it like it reads. The fact that you want to ignore the obvious because it's the Bible is a problem. And that's why I'm going to have these videos. I'm going to deal with all these difficult situations because the Bible is full of a lot of problems, a lot of messed up stuff that the average Christian reads and goes right over the top. So, one of many. Comment if you want. Talk to you later.